Deion Sanders, he wants to save the collegiate spring games, starting with Colorado's, and he has an awesome idea, one that I actually absolutely, positively love and hope that he does it and other schools do it. Don't think they will because they're scared. Let's talk about it and why it's so awesome after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYjr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload all the time. Thank you, guys, for tuning in. Uh, Deion Sanders, he wants to have a spring game more like and do the spring more like NFL joint practices. Let's take a look at an article produced by the AP. Get this all off my screen. It says Deion Sanders wants to save college spring game by adding an opponent in NFL-like joint practices. It goes on to say, in a time when programs rethink their annual spring football game, Deion Sanders has his own suggestion: bring in another team, just like the NFL sometimes does before exhibition games. The Colorado, not sometimes, pretty much every single NFL team does joint practices during the preseason. It goes on to say, if you've ever watched Hard Knocks, you know this is true. The Colorado coach figures with just about everything else changing in college sports, transfer portal, NIL, roster limitations, it's about time to find a way to make what's usually an intra-squad scrimmage better for fans and teams alike. Such a change will require the NCAA to alter its rules on spring ball. Quote, to have it competitive, playing against your own guys kind of gets monotonous, Sanders said on Monday in his news conference since last season. You really can't tell the level of your guys. It's the same old, same old. Everyone kind of knows each other. His concept will be similar to the preseason game in the NFL, where a team comes in for a few days of joint practices before their exhibition games. Quote, I think the public will be satisfied with that tremendously. Sanders says, I think it's a tremendous idea. I've told those personnel who should know, understand that it's a tremendous idea. At least one coach agrees, even pitched a trip to Boulder. Syracuse's coach Fran Brown said on social media he would have his team there for a 3-day trip. And then it goes on to talk about all the coaches who have opted out of the spring game. That includes Nebraska, Texas, Ohio State, USC, among others, who have decided to do away with their annual spring game. Now, this is a brilliant idea. Now, I know some of you will say, well, Jeff, the guys will get hurt and they don't need to be playing each other before the season because they might get hurt. Well, guess what? People get hurt in spring practice anyway, right? Like, injuries happen. Injuries are a part of the game. Now, of course, you want to do everything in your, everything in your ability to prevent an injury, yes, but you're not going out there looking to get your players hurt. But football is a physical game. Sports are physical. And guess what? Injuries happen in sports. And so if this wasn't effective, if this didn't work, why do the NFL teams do it? Why do the professionals at the highest of high levels do it if it isn't effective? If it doesn't work, if they don't see the benefit of it. So yes, Deion, who is a Hall of Famer, with Hall of Famers Warren Sapp on his staff and Hall of Famer Marshall Faulk, on his staff, and several other guys they either coached and or played in the NFL on his staff, understand the benefit of doing a spring game. And especially for a guy like Deion and a team that's breaking in a new quarterback, that's going to be breaking in a ton of new guys on the offensive line, breaking in weapons on the wide receiver. When you lose a quarterback that could potentially go in the top 3 of the NFL draft, and you lose a two-way player like Travis Hunter, who will go in the top 5 of the NFL draft, no, probably Heisman Trophy winner, Biletnikoff, top 5 draft pick, then yeah, it would be nice to see what your team looks like going up against another team. And I'm sure he's not the only one that feels this way, especially after you lose a ton of players and with the spring transfer portal, because when you're going against other teams, when you're replacing so many high-level guys, like he's replacing, like what Ohio State is replacing, like what Michigan replaced going into last year, you want to see what these new guys look like, especially with a spring transfer portal window. So you go to spring, go all 15 practices, practice and play against another team, right? Maybe get your ass kicked, right? Like that's part of it. You might get your tail whooped, and you're like, oh, like this roster ain't gonna work for the fall. It didn't work in the spring. It damn sure ain't gonna work in the fall. So guess what? We gotta go get some new players. We gotta get some new guys. We gotta find a better way to replace Travis. We gotta find a better way to replace Jimmy Horn, to replace LaJohntay Wester, to replace Shiloh, to replace Shador Sanders. Like we gotta find a better way. Or these guys gotta get coached up better. We gotta do something different if we go out there and get our ass kicked. Or if you go out there and kick tail, then it's like, we're on the right track. We're on the right track. Where are we lacking? Because we went out there and kicked tail, but we were lacking here. We were lacking there. We were lacking everywhere. You know what I mean? Like wherever you were lacking, you fill in the gaps. Oh, man, our quarterback's a lot further along than we thought. Oh, man, this wide receiver group actually isn't so bad. Oh, man, this offensive line is going to work this fall, unlike it hasn't worked the last 2 falls at Colorado. That's why this is smart. This is a brilliant idea. And I know this has probably been pitched before, but sometimes it takes the guy with the bigger microphone. Sometimes it takes the guy with a more massive reach. Sometimes it takes the guy. You guys have known I haven't always agreed with everything Deion Sanders has done, has said, all that stuff. You know, if you know, you know. He's right on this one. Like, teams canceling spring practice is one of the weakest moves I've seen in college sports recently. Like, that's just garbage. Like, to me, that's super, super weak, right? Canceling spring ball because we're scared our teams, our players are going to get poached. USC, Nebraska, Texas, Ohio State scared their players are going to get poached. Get out of here. Like, knock it off, bro. Like stop it. Like, that is the saddest, weakest excuse for an excuse. Saddest thing for an excuse I've ever heard when it comes to those programs and their players getting poached. Like, knock it off, bro. Knock it off. But having something like this, I mean, you're getting poached during spring. Like, that's stupid, man. At those programs, like, who's poaching kids from Ohio State? Who's poaching kids from Texas? Like, that's stupid, man. But regardless, I think this is an awesome idea. I think it's something that NCAA should look into, and I much rather have this idea where you're playing another school instead of an intra-squad scrimmage, as opposed to canceling spring ball and not giving the fans something to look forward to when they've looked forward to it and have been able to attend these things for years and years and years and years before. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Once again, my name is JeffLightsYJr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on JeffLightsYJr, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because I upload all the time. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Peace.